Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Insight, where today it is about question everything, the benefits of a curious leadership style. So, welcome. Come on in. I am so glad that you are here today as we talk about curiosity. That's right, curiosity, a powerful leadership tool that can help you move up in your job or it will help you move up in your career. Thus, the topic of today's session questions and everything. Literally, I want us to start moving in the world with more curiosity. And this is how you're going to be able to become even a greater leader when you are able to become more curious. It's going to help you to be able to adapt to new situations. And listen, if you're not a leader, you can still adapt to curiosity as you go through your own career. Please don't forget to like and subscribe from whatever platform you are watching us on. We thank you. We do not take it lightly that you are spending some time with us. Being curious is more than just asking questions. It means keeping an open mind that questions what you already know and to be able to find new insights. Curiosity is this great trait for you to work on. Now, some of you out there are saying, listen, you had me a hello. I'm curious enough. There are so many more that are not as curious as they need to be. Hopefully, if you are the curious connoisseur, you will still be able to find some things. But listen, if you're just like I'm more the status quo type of person, then I want you to hunker on down, come on in because I want you to be able to embrace this. It's going to help you to break down barriers, make better choices, and also find new opportunities. So, whether you're leading a team, you're moving up in the ranks, or you're an employee. This is definitely going to be for you. It's wonderful again to have you all here. So come on, let's get ready to elevate. Last week, we spoke about agile leadership, empowering teams, and driving innovation. And thus, if you missed that, please go back and check that out. We discussed specifically flexibility, empowerment, and continuous improvement. You do not want to miss that. Go ahead, go back and do that hashtag replay. Now, for today, going back to our questioning everything, we're going to talk about three important points today. Those points are going to be I want you to be able to, as a leader, as whatever you are in this dispensation of time, question your own beliefs. I want you to start asking more questions and giving up the habit of judging or assuming things quickly. And so we are going to go ahead and jump on in. Before we jump in, roll call. Let's do a quick roll call. Whether you're catching us live, whether you're catching us from the replay, let us know that you are here. If there is something that is resonating with you, please drop that in the comments. And if you have a comment about anything that we are discussing today, or if you have a comment and you're just like, oh, you didn't cover this, I'd be curious about this Spark of Joy. Coach Miranda, drop that in the comments as well. Myself, my team, we do look through the comments and we do appreciate you leaving them. Now, I'm going to tell a story, and this story is about me, honestly. So, I've been in leadership. If you've been following me, I've been in leadership a long time. I know I love to say, don't look like it. Yeah, no, over 25. Yeah, right. I know that was a huge stretch, y'all. Maybe a day over 40, 50, more like it. I've been in this game for a long time, and I have learned that sometimes the simplest moments reveal the biggest life lessons. And I'm going to share one of those moments with you. And it's also going to help you to illuminate why being curious is so important. And honestly, in leadership, it is one of my, at any rate, key traits and things that I truly look forward to. So a while back, and we talk about a while back, I received an email from one of my employees, and it wasn't anything earth shattering. It was a basic question. Boss, can you take a look and tell me if this is okay to send? Now I'm going to make up something fictitious. Yes, this now, so imagine getting an email where someone is asking you if this is okay to send to somebody else. Yes, the sky is dark blue today with lots of clouds. Very, very simple statement, right? Yes, the sky is dark blue today with lots of clouds. At first glance, it seemed pretty straightforward, right? If you looked out and you saw the sky was blue with dark clouds, you'd be like, why are you asking me this? So my initial thought, why are they asking me this? And I responded with a simple question. I tend to like to do things in simplicity, you all. Do you have a concern with your response? The employee replied, I don't have a problem with it at all. And pretty much that was that. So on the surface, it seemed like everything was fine, but something in the back of my mind felt unsettled. I realized I didn't fully understand why they were asking me to approve something so basic, but I let it go. Fast forward, it was either later that day or the next day. We were in a meeting and something in that email came up, and I was like, is this what they were talking about? If you could have just seen my face probably looked like that. Like, seriously? There was probably more of my inside. So if y'all were able to catch that visual, that was the inside of what I was feeling at the moment. The issue turned out to be a bigger thing than obviously I understood. The employee had a very valid reason for asking my input, but I hadn't dug deep enough to uncover their concern. The problem wasn't their writing, it was the underlying context I hadn't asked about. Thus, looking back, I see exactly where I went wrong. I was curious enough to ask a surface level question, but I didn't ask the right ones. If I had pushed a little bit further, inquired about why they were seeking my input, I could have uncovered the real issue much earlier and provided more value as a leader. The lesson, lead with curiosity. Don't stop at the first question. I need you to dig deeper. In leadership, it's not just about providing answers, it's about uncovering the full picture through thoughtful inquiry. You gotta make sure you are asking the questions when you approach situations with genuine curiosity. You're able to open up the door to more meaningful conversations, better decision making, and ultimately stronger relationships will develop. And that is why we are here today, because I want you to lean into. Think about when you were a child and all of those times you asked, why is this? Why is that? And at some point, someone probably made you feel like you asking too many questions. And then you stopped. You stopped. You listen, people do things because they think they're doing it for the right reasons. I don't want you to be mad at the parents. I don't want you to be mad at the person who stopped your curiosity. I want you now to spark it back up. I want you to know, because there are so many people out here who think they ask, first of all, too many questions. And it's not that you ask too many questions, it may be the particular environment It may be, and I'm speaking specifically to because there are people out here and you have been made to feel horrible that you ask too many questions. Listen, that is a gift. You have a gift. Asking questions is a genuine gift. You just have to learn. If you've ever heard me speak about strengths and things of that nature, you have to learn how to grow that strength. And in growing that strength, you learn when to use it, when to back off of it, and when it should be applicable. And thus, that's what I am telling you. For those who that's not your major strength, that's okay. You can still become more curious. And that is something that I definitely want, not just for you. I want you to also pass that on to people in your lives. Okay. This is just all of this leadership insight just isn't for you. And hopefully, you know that it's for you to take it. It's for you to run with it in your life. It's for you to run with it at work. It's for you to run with it at the PTA. It's for you to run with it at church. It's for you to take it. You don't have to just take this one thing and only put it in one area. These are skill sets that we are developing together that you use and you share with others. Now, with all of that being said, we are going to jump right on in to our first point. Test your assumptions. Assumptions are easy for leaders to fall back on. Do you hear me? I'm going to use my husband. He not on here, so I can use it. He's probably going to watch this and he's going to be like, why did you use me? Why? And it's okay because I'm going to be like, boo boo, but you give me the best material when it comes to assumptions and driving. Why am I singing? Because I am so excited about this. Let me tell you. In the car all the time, not all the time, it used to be. He would say something about a driver, and I feel like, "How do you know that, honey? How do you know that to be true? How do you know that they cut you off on purpose? How? How do you know that they cut you off on purpose?" Now, he has gotten so much better. However, I could give a whole entire stand-up routine about our car conversations, and thus, I need you to test your assumptions. Assumptions are easy for leaders to fall back on, and I know this can be difficult, you all. Assumptions are normal, so understand it is extremely normal. This helps us to save time. It helps us to feel in charge. And we're usually basing our assumptions on something that happened in the past. So I'm not telling you to get rid of them at all. That's not what I'm saying. So just stay with me. However, assumptions can also put us in a place where we don't see the possibilities. We don't see the change in the sky. We don't see the little rainbow. Assumptions can keep us locked up. And so that is what I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to see the new possibilities. And I want you to understand that if you only see it one way, that can narrow your way of sight. And again, leader, I don't want that for you. Being curious means that you have to keep putting your ideals to the test. Is this really true? Am I sure I know everything? Is there another reason for that? I know that some of you all are driving on a regular basis and you're like, I can't believe they cut me off. However, could it have been because they were distracted? Not that I'm definitely not. I'm not saying please be driving distracted. I'm not saying drive distracted, but could it have been because they were distracted and it had nothing to do with you at all? When working with people, it's so important to test your assumptions. It's easy for leaders to think that they know why someone is acting a certain way or a project isn't moving forward the way it's supposed to be. But what if things aren't like that? What if there's something important that's been left out that could change everything? You can continue to learn and grow by putting your ideals to the test. And this is what I would love for your takeaway to be. Regularly question what you think you know and look for different viewpoints that might help you to see things in a new way. I lost a couple of you by saying that. Mm, eh, However, I do need you, ma'am, sir, leader, to look for different viewpoints. Maybe don't start it at work. Maybe start it at home. Maybe your child is saying something and you are just like, I can't, I have told them time and time and time again. Do I look mean enough? I haven't had a child in the house in a long time. I done told you, clean up your room. You know I ain't had a child because I'm struggling to come up with something. Clean up your room, right? And you think it's because they chose not to clean up the room. So, in that instance, what I would love for you to do is start finding other viewpoints as to why they didn't clean up their room. Sometimes you want to practice some of these things in the comfort of family and friends before you take it to work. However, I won't stop you from taking it to work, but definitely I need you to start looking at the different viewpoints. This going to help you to start opening up new pathways. This simple habit can lead to better problem solving and it's going to create innovative leadership. Our next point is ask more questions. I told y'all I like simplicity. Questions are what spark curiosity. However, you are listening, not just any questions, because you heard me in the opening. Thoughtful, open minded questions. When you ask more questions, you open the door to new ideals, better understanding, and working together. Being able to ask questions to get to the heart of the matter is an important part of being a good leader. Could we have done something differently? Is a better way to ask than what went wrong? And I know some of y'all have just said what went wrong. And that's okay. To some of you, and that's a whole nother thing that I'm not, I don't have time to get into. It is okay that you ask what went wrong. Now you know a better way is what could we have done differently? That's it. Ask, how can we help avoid this next time? Or use that instead of who's responsible. Listen, if you say who's responsible, now you may have this awesome team that if you say who's responsible, you may have people that will raise their hand quickly. But that means that your team is really a high functioning, beautiful instrument orchestra. Let me think, NBA league. I'm really trying to think of all types of they have to be at such a high level, such a functioning level in where they are comfortable to raise their hand. If I did something wrong, I am the first one. I did it. What? No. Oh, I probably won't say it that way, but I will. I am that person. If I did something wrong, I'm going to tell you that I did something wrong. However, that's almost a little bit rare. People aren't in a space that they want everybody to know I did something wrong. The team environment may not be such where people are ready to do that. And instead of looking and trying to find out and highlight, oh my gosh, Cindy did something wrong. Ask, how can we help each other to avoid this next time? That's simple because that takes the pressure off and you're going to get a better response because they're going to start thinking, we needed to do this and for next time. Those are important, just little shifts. When we ask these types of questions, the focus shifts from blame to growth. And that's the area that we want to live and strive in growth. And you're more likely to find creative ways to solutions. The more questions that you ask, the more connected you become with your team. and you're able to gain this clarity about your path forward. This will help you to connect with your team better. This also helps you to make smarter choices, and you will become a more caring boss. Our third point, break the habit of assuming. I know, I feel like I've lost a lot of you throughout my conversation today. It's easy to fall into the habit of assuming things about people, about situations and outcomes. I took that deep breath for you all because some of you are just like Sparkle Joy Coach Miranda. You are stepping on my toes. And for people who are like, what does that even mean? That means I am in an area where I am making some people a little bit uncomfortable, but I need you to break the habit of assuming. If you do it often, you might start to think certain things about people, situations, and results. Assumptions give people a false sense of security and can cause misunderstanding, missed chances, missed opportunities, and even it will lead or can lead to bad choices by you as a leader. To break free from this habit, I need you to start recognizing when you're making assumptions. I need you to take a moment to think and then go find facts, okay? Do not assume as much and notice more. Look, listen, start using more of our senses, not just being reactionary. And a lot of times we are reactionary. So if someone says something and you're just about to bam, respond, that's when I need you to stop. Do you have the facts? Do you have all of the information? Are you making an assumption? Do not assume as much. Again, notice more. This can help you to stay focused and not just jump to conclusions. Again, if we use the story that I was speaking about earlier about your child and why they didn't clean their room when they knew that was an expectation, stop. I need you to take a step back. I need you to ask more questions so you don't assume they didn't do it because they were blatantly disregarding what you said. Also, I need you, when you're in a team environment, urge everyone on your team to share freely. Now, if this has not been your habit, and if your team feels like they're in a hostile working environment, you have work to do, and that is okay. There are many teams that are in disarray. There are many teams that we want to say, oh, yeah, my team is great. My team is this, my team is that. And you know that is just not the case. For that particular person, it takes more work. It takes more grind. It takes more effort. If you urge them to open freely and then you use what they say against them, you will never get to where you need to get to. It will be such an uphill battle. So if that is you, there are other steps. So I'm not necessarily talking to that particular leader for this part. However, if you have a team that they are open and they do communicate, I need you to urge everyone on your team to share freely. People will feel safe speaking up and questioning assumptions if their workplace encourages it. And again, if you're encouraging it, do not use what they are telling you against them. That's one, because that's going to go into trust. It's going to go into there's trust, there's integrity. We're not really focusing on those things, but I also need you to understand that it's important that when you want people to speak up, you do not use what they say against them. And I have seen it. I still see it. And it's problematic. And thus, you need to understand when we're creating this safety for people that there are things that we can't cross. Now, if something is so totally egregious, for instance, if someone speaks up and they're just like, I'm going to kill my neighbor. Now, listen, Linda, you're going to need to call 911 and you're going to need to do if someone, so I'm using these extremes so you truly understand. However, if someone speaks up and they say, when an employee comes to you because you're like, share freely, and they say, I really want water fountains installed in the building. Now, obviously, I do understand that there are codes, and I'm sure water fountains are installed in your building, but just go with me. Go with me, people. Go with me. I want some water fountains installed, right? And then the next thing that they hear is, if we can't hear what's installed in the building, how dare someone ask for water fountains installed in the building? Listen, that is not embracing curiosity. That is shutting people down. And so you need to understand, don't bring that particular thing up. Even if you couldn't get the water fountains installed in a building, say, that's a great ideal. That's a great suggestion. We're not able to do that at the moment. However, hopefully next year or hopefully in a couple of months, we'll be able to go back and revisit that. Hopefully, you all see the difference. So, your takeaway, don't let your leadership go into the autopilot zone. Instead, watch, inquire. When leaders stop assuming, you all will make room to learn and to grow. And this room will stretch across your teams, it'll stretch across your leadership. To recap everything, we began our discussion today by how curiosity is such a powerful trait that can enhance your leadership and help you to advance in your career. I shared my own personal story, illuminating how curiosity helped me to break through this leadership challenge and how you all can navigate similar challenges. And then our 3 points, testing your assumptions to avoid limited thinking, asking more questions to drive deeper understanding and collaboration. And our third point was breaking the habit of assuming, which allows for more growth and a better decision making. I always end with a quote. As a leader, it's not just about having the answers, it's about asking the right questions. True leadership comes from digging deeper, seeking clarity, and embracing curiosity to uncover the full story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. By adopting a curious leadership style, you not only enhance your ability to solve problems, but you also foster a culture of learning and innovation. Remember, the best leaders don't have all the answers, they know how to ask the right questions. And as you move forward in your leadership journey, staying curious will help you to keep evolving and seizing new opportunities. Thank you for joining me today. And I encourage you to leave here with one commitment, to lead with curiosity. Join me next week for more incredible insights. You deserve nothing but the best. It's my goal to ensure that you move to your next level. Let's take your career to new heights together.